Close your eyes for a second and imagine this. It's the first morning of 2026. You wake up, you grab your phone, you look at your life, and one question hits you harder than anything else. Did I really change, or did I just survive another year? Because let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. Time is about to expose everybody, not your intentions, not your excuses, not what you planned to do, only what you actually became. See, every year sounds hopeful when it starts. Everyone says, this is my year. Everyone promises change. Everyone talks big. But then life gets busy. Comfort gets tempting. Distractions get loud. And before you know it, another year is gone. Here's the scary part. 2026 doesn't care how hard your life was. It doesn't care how unfair things felt. It only reflects the habits you repeated when nobody was watching. Most people think success shows up overnight. It doesn't. It sneaks up on people who change quietly, daily, consistently. And failure is loud. Failure announces itself when it's too late to rewind. That's why this moment matters. Not tomorrow, not next month, right now. Because the difference between the person you are today and the person you'll be in 2026 will not be luck, talent, or motivation. It will be the habits you choose to build or the ones you keep avoiding. So listen close, and this is not inspiration. This is a warning and an opportunity. If you learn these habits before 2026 arrives, your life will look completely different. And if you don't, you'll still be watching videos like this, wondering why nothing ever changed. Let's talk about it. Let me be real with you for a moment. Time is not standing still. It's not pausing to see if you're ready. It's not slowing down because you've been through a lot. Every single second that passes is gone forever, and it's taking your opportunities with it. You don't feel it happening because time doesn't make noise, but it is moving quietly, consistently, without mercy. And one day you wake up and realize years have passed, not weeks, not months, years. That's the danger. Time doesn't scare you at first. It feels harmless. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. I'll do it next year. I still have time. And those words feel comfortable. They feel safe. But comfort is a lie when it comes to growth. Comfort whispers, relax, you're fine, while time is already running ahead without you. Look around. Think about how fast the last 5 years went. One day you were making plans, dreaming, talking about what you were going to do. And now you're here still thinking about starting some of the same things. That's not because you're incapable. It's because time kept moving while hesitation held you back. Here's the hard truth most people don't want to accept. Time rewards urgency and punishes delay. The people you admire didn't have more hours in their day. They didn't get extra years added to their life. What they had was an understanding that time is expensive. Every day costs something. If you don't pay with discipline, you'll pay with regret. There is no discount. There is no refund. And regret is a heavy bill. One day, time will ask you a question you won't be able to avoid. What did you do with what I gave you? Not what did you plan? Not what did you hope? Not what did you intend? What did you actually do? Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they keep assuming tomorrow is guaranteed. Tomorrow is not promised. Energy is not permanent. Youth is not forever. Motivation is not consistent. If you wait until everything feels perfect, you'll wait until opportunity passes you by. Time doesn't announce deadlines. It doesn't send reminders. It just moves on. And the scary part is this: time doesn't come back to explain what you missed. It doesn't tell you, hey, that was your moment. It lets you figure it out later when it's too late to act on it. That's why missed opportunities hurt so deeply. Not because they were impossible, but because you realize you could have moved and you didn't. Every year you delay becoming disciplined, your habits get stronger, but not the good ones. Laziness becomes familiar. Procrastination feels normal. Settling starts to feel acceptable. And slowly, without noticing, you begin to lower your standards for your own life. Not because you want less, but because time trained you to accept less. And then one day reality hits you. You see someone younger than you winning. You see people who started after you succeed. You see doors closed that used to be open. And suddenly time feels very loud. That's when people say, I wish I had started earlier. But wishing doesn't turn back clocks. Regret doesn't create results. Awareness without action changes nothing. The truth is, time is neutral. It doesn't favor anyone. It treats everyone the same. The only difference is how people respond to it. Some people hear the ticking and feel urgency. Others hear it and ignore it until it's deafening. Right now, time is giving you a choice. You can continue living on autopilot, letting days blur together, telling yourself you'll get serious soon. Or you can wake up to the reality that your future is being built whether you participate or not. Every habit you repeat today is voting for the life you'll live tomorrow. You don't need to do everything at once. You don't need to be perfect. But you do need to move. You need to stop negotiating with delay. You need to stop assuming you have unlimited chances. Because one thing is certain, time will not wait for you to make up your mind. The question isn't whether time will pass. The question is whether you'll grow while it does. Let's clear something up right now, because this misunderstanding is costing people their dreams. Motivation is not the reason successful people win. Motivation is emotional. It comes and goes. Some days you feel unstoppable, and other days you don't even feel like getting out of bed. If your entire future depends on how you feel in the moment, then your future is unstable. Feelings change, energy changes, life hits hard. And when motivation disappears, which it always does, habits are the only thing left standing. Most people wait to feel ready before they act. They wait for inspiration, for excitement, for confidence. But the people who actually change their lives don't wait for a feeling. They move first. They act when it's boring, when it's uncomfortable, when it feels pointless. And over time, those repeated actions become habits, automatic behaviors that don't require motivation at all. That's why habits decide your future. Look at your life right now. Not your goals, not your dreams, your actual life. Your results are not an accident. They are the outcome of what you do every day without thinking about it. The way you wake up, the way you eat, the way you speak to yourself, the way you use your time when nobody is watching. Those small, uncelebrated actions are quietly shaping your destiny. Motivation loves the spotlight. It shows up when you watch a video, hear a speech, or feel inspired by someone else's success. But motivation doesn't stay, habits do. Habits work even when you're tired. They show up even when you're stressed. They keep you moving forward on days when your mind is trying to pull you backward. Here's the uncomfortable truth: if your habits don't change, your life won't either. No matter how motivated you feel today, you can watch 100 videos, you can write down 1,000 goals. You can promise yourself that this time is different. But if tomorrow looks the same as yesterday, then next year will look the same as this year. Change doesn't come from big emotional moments. It comes from boring repetition, and that's where most people lose. They underestimate the power of small actions done consistently. They think success requires massive effort all at once. It doesn't. It requires small, disciplined choices made daily. Reading 10 pages instead of scrolling for an hour. Waking up 30 minutes earlier instead of hitting snooze. Choosing progress over comfort in moments no one will ever applaud. Those choices don't feel powerful in the moment. They feel ordinary, but ordinary habits, repeated long enough, create extraordinary outcomes. Motivation tells you do it when you feel like it. Habits say, do it because this is who you are. And identity is everything. Once something becomes a habit, it stops being a decision. You don't argue with yourself. You don't negotiate. You just do it. That's why habits are dangerous in the wrong direction in life, changing in the right one. Bad habits quietly destroy your future the same way good habits quietly build it, slowly and visibly over time. People think they'll notice when their life starts going downhill. They won't. It happens gradually. A missed workout here, a wasted hour there, a shortcut taken, a standard lowered. And then one day they look up and don't recognize where they ended up. The same is true in the opposite direction. Nobody wakes up successful overnight. It's built when nobody is watching. It's built in routines, in discipline, in consistency when the results aren't showing yet. That's why relying on motivation is dangerous. Motivation wants fast results. Habits understand patience. Motivation wants excitement. Habits are comfortable with repetition. Motivation feels good. Habits get results. And life doesn't reward what feels good. It rewards what works. If you want a different future, You don't need more motivation. You need better habits. You need to design your days instead of drifting through them. You need to stop asking, do I feel like doing this? And start asking, what kind of person do I want to become? Because every habit is a vote for your future self. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. And the future you keep dreaming about is already being decided by what you do today, consistently, quietly, whether you're motivated or not. Let's talk about something most people avoid because it doesn't feel good and it doesn't sound exciting: discipline. Not the kind that gets applause. The kind that asks you to do what you don't want to do when you don't feel like doing it, especially when nobody is watching. Discipline is not about being extreme. It's about choosing what you want most over what you want now. And that choice is where lives are made or broken. Comfort feels harmless. Comfort tells you to rest a little longer, scroll a little more, delay just one more day. Comfort never screams. It whispers. And that's why it's dangerous. It convinces you that there's no rush, that you deserve a break, that tomorrow will be better. But comfort doesn't care about your future. Comfort only cares about right now. Every meaningful life requires sacrifice. There is no version of success that doesn't demand discomfort. The only question is what kind of discomfort you choose. You can choose the discomfort of discipline, early mornings, focused effort, saying no to distractions, staying consistent when it's boring. Or you can choose the discomfort of regret, stress, self-doubt, watching others pass you by, wondering how things could have been different. Either way, pain is coming. Discipline just lets you choose the direction. Most people don't avoid discipline because they're weak. They avoid it because comfort is familiar. It feels safe. Discipline feels uncertain. When you step outside comfort, you don't get guarantees. You don't know if the effort will pay off immediately. And that uncertainty scares people more than staying stuck. But staying comfortable is not staying safe. It's slowly settling for less than you're capable of. Think about how many times you've chosen comfort over progress. You knew what you should do: wake up earlier, practice more, study longer, show up even when tired, but you chose what felt easier. And in that moment, nothing bad happened. That's the trap. Comfort doesn't punish you instantly. It waits. It collects interest. And one day, it presents the bill. Discipline works the opposite way. It hurts up front. You feel the effort immediately. You feel the resistance. But the rewards are delayed. That's why most people quit. They want comfort now and results now. Life doesn't work like that. Results come after repetition. Confidence comes after consistency. Strength comes after struggle. Discipline is not about punishment. It's about respect. Respect for your future self. Respect for your potential. Respect for the life you say you want. Every time you choose discipline, you are telling yourself, my future matters more than this moment. And here's something important. Discipline becomes easier the more you practice it. Just like comfort becomes harder to escape the longer you stay in it. At first, discipline feels heavy. You have to force yourself. You have to fight your own habits. But over time, discipline becomes your new normal. You start to crave progress. You start to feel uncomfortable when you're not growing. That's when everything changes. People who live disciplined lives don't rely on willpower. They rely on systems. They structure their environment so the right choices are easier and the wrong choices are harder. They don't negotiate with laziness. They already decided who they are. Comfort keeps options open. Discipline closes the door on excuses. And understand this, discipline doesn't mean saying no to everything. It means saying no to what doesn't serve you. It means being intentional. It means recognizing that every yes to comfort is a no to something greater. When you consistently choose discipline, your confidence grows. You trust yourself more because you keep promises to yourself. And self-trust is powerful. It changes how you walk, how you speak, how you show up in the world. People can feel it. Opportunities respond to it. Comfort never builds confidence. It only builds dependence. The reason discipline matters so much is because life doesn't get easier. Responsibilities increase. Pressure increases. Expectations increase. If you don't build discipline early, life will force discipline on you later through stress, financial struggle, or missed opportunities. Choosing discipline now is an act of freedom. It frees you from chaos. It frees you from constantly starting over. It frees you from wishing you had done more. So every day you're standing at a quiet crossroads. Nobody is watching. No one is judging. And you make a small decision, discipline or comfort. That decision feels insignificant. It's not. It's shaping who you're becoming. If you consistently choose discipline, comfort will eventually follow. Peace will follow. Confidence will follow. But if you choose comfort first, discipline will come later in the form of regret. The strongest people are not the most motivated. They are the most disciplined. And discipline, chosen daily, always leads to a life you don't have to escape from. Let's talk about something deeper than motivation, deeper than discipline, the invisible forces that shape your life long before results ever show up. Your mindset, your environment, and your willingness to take responsibility are quietly working every day, whether you pay attention to them or not. And the truth is, you don't rise to the level of your dreams. You sink to the level of what you tolerate in these three areas. Your mindset is the lens through which you see everything. It decides whether obstacles look like excuses or opportunities. Two people can face the same situation, the same struggle, the same setback, and walk away with completely different outcomes, not because of luck, but because of how they think. A weak mindset asks, why is this happening to me? A strong mindset asks, what is this teaching me? If your first reaction to difficulty is blame, you give your power away. Blame feels good in the moment because it protects your ego. It lets you believe the problem is outside of you. But blame is expensive. It costs you growth. It keeps you stuck. The moment you blame something or someone else, you stop looking for solutions, and solutions only come when you take ownership. Your mindset either expands your world or shrinks it. Most limits in life are not physical. They are mental. People quit in their minds long before they quit in reality. They decide something is not for them, too hard, or not possible without ever fully trying. And once your mind accepts that story, your actions follow it automatically. But here's the powerful part. Your mindset is not fixed. It's trained, and it's trained by repetition. What you tell yourself every day matters. The conversations you have in your head become the rules you live by. If you constantly tell yourself you're behind, unlucky, or not good enough, your behavior will quietly align with that belief. But if you train your mind to see challenges as preparation, pressure as growth, and responsibility as power, everything changes. Your environment reinforces your mindset more than you realize. Look at the people around you. Not the ones you admire from a distance, the ones you spend the most time with. Their habits, their conversations, their standards slowly become yours. Environment is not just physical space. It's energy, it's expectations. It's what's considered normal, where you live, work, and socialize. If your environment celebrates excuses, discipline will feel strange. If your environment avoids accountability, responsibility will feel uncomfortable. And if your environment rewards comfort, growth will feel like punishment. That's why some people struggle to change even when they want to. They're trying to grow in an environment that's designed to keep them the same. This doesn't mean you're better than anyone else. It means you need to be honest. Not everyone is meant to go where you're going. Some people are in your life for a season, not a lifetime. And holding on to environments that no longer match who you're becoming is one of the most common reasons people stay stuck. You don't have to cut everyone off, but you do have to be intentional about influence, what you listen to, what you watch, what you allow into your mind, because environment either supports growth or suffocates it. There is no neutral. Now let's talk about responsibility, because this is where real transformation begins. Taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything that went wrong. It means accepting that your life is your job to manage. No one is coming to save you. No one owes you clarity, confidence, or success. And that realization is not depressing, it's empowering. The moment you take responsibility, you take control. Responsibility shifts your focus from what happened to what you're going to do next. It stops you from waiting on permission. It stops you from wasting energy on excuses. And it forces you to ask better questions, questions that lead to action. People who avoid responsibility stay busy explaining. People who embrace responsibility stay busy building. You may not be responsible for your starting point, but you are responsible for your direction. And direction repeated over time determines destiny. When your mindset is strong, your environment is aligned, and your sense of responsibility is non-negotiable, something powerful happens. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and start seeing yourself as a creator of outcomes. And creators don't wait. They adapt, they learn, they move. This is not about perfection. It's about awareness. It's about realizing that the life you want requires internal change before it shows up externally. Fix how you think. Be selective about what surrounds you, and own your decisions fully. Because the moment you stop blaming and start building, your future starts responding differently. And that's when everything begins to shift. Everybody has dreams. Big ones, loud ones, dreams that sound good when spoken out loud and feel exciting when imagined late at night. But here's the truth: most people never face dreams by themselves. Don't change lives. Action does. And not occasional action, not action when you feel inspired. Daily execution. That's the real separator between people who talk about the future and people who actually live it. Big dreams are easy. They don't cost you anything at first. You can dream while staying comfortable. You can dream without changing your schedule. You can dream without sacrificing habits. That's why so many people hold on to dreams for years, because dreams don't demand discipline. Execution does. Daily execution is uncomfortable because it exposes inconsistency. It forces you to face who you really are, not who you imagine yourself to be. It's easy to say you want success. It's harder to show up every single day and do the work that success requires, especially when results are invisible. And that's where most people quit, in the invisible phase. They don't quit because the dream wasn't real. They quit because daily execution feels boring, repetitive, unrewarding. There's no applause for showing up early, no celebration for staying focused, no recognition for doing the right thing when nobody notices. And because there's no immediate payoff, people assume it's not working. But that's how progress works. Quiet, slow, and noticed until it isn't. Daily execution compounds. Small actions done consistently grow into massive results over time. One disciplined day doesn't change your life, but one disciplined day repeated hundreds of times does. That's how confidence is built. That's how skills are mastered. That's how opportunities appear, not suddenly, but as a response to consistency. Dreams ask, what do I want? Execution asks, what am I willing to do today? And today is all you ever really have. The problem with focusing only on big dreams is that they can become an escape, a fantasy that makes you feel productive without actually producing anything. You can stay stuck and still feel hopeful. You can stay the same and still believe you're moving forward. Execution removes that illusion. It makes progress measurable. It makes effort real. Daily execution doesn't care about your mood. It doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't negotiate. It asks for commitment, not excitement. And commitment is what builds momentum. Momentum is powerful. Once you start executing daily, something shifts inside you. You begin to trust yourself. You stop relying on motivation. You stop starting over. You build identity, the identity of someone who finishes, someone who follows through, someone who does the work. That identity changes how you move through life. People underestimate how much confidence comes from keeping small promises to yourself. Waking up when you said you would, doing the task you planned to do, showing up even when you didn't feel like it. These moments seem small, but they stack up. And over time, they create self-respect, and self-respect fuels consistency. Big dreams without daily execution create frustration, because the gap between where you are and where you want to be feels overwhelming. But daily execution closes that gap one step at a time. It turns a massive vision into manageable actions. It makes progress feel possible. You don't need to see the entire path. You just need to see today clearly. Daily execution also teaches patience. It reminds you that real success is built, not rushed. You learn to focus on what you can control: your effort, your preparation, your consistency, and let go of what you can't. You stop obsessing over outcomes and start mastering process. And process is where growth lives. Every successful person you admire became successful long before anyone noticed. They were executing daily when nobody was watching. They were refining skills, failing quietly, improving slowly. The spotlight came later as a side effect, not a goal. If you want your dreams to become real, stop asking how big they are and start asking how consistent you are. Stop waiting for the perfect moment and start using the present one. Stop planning endlessly and start executing imperfectly. Because dreams don't respond to intention. They respond to action. And the truth is simply, the future you want is not built by what you dream about at night. It's built by what you do every day. Execute daily and let the results catch up. Listen to me carefully as we close this out. Nothing you heard today matters if it stays as words. Not inspiration, not understanding, not even agreement. The only thing that matters is what you do next. Because knowledge without action is just another form of comfort. It makes you feel good while keeping your life the same. Time is still moving. It didn't stop while you were listening. And when this moment passes, life will test whether this message meant anything to you at all. Not with big challenges, with small choices, with whether you show up tomorrow, with whether you go back to old habits or build new ones. Here's the truth you can't escape. The future is not built in dramatic moments. It's built in ordinary days. You don't need a new year. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You need courage to act now and discipline to keep going. The habits you choose today will either work for you or against you, but they will work. There is no neutral. Every day you delay, you're deciding. Every excuse you accept, you're choosing. And every time you show up when it's hard, you're shaping a version of yourself that can't be stopped. 1 year from now, you will look back at this moment, and you will either thank yourself or wish you had listened. Make this the line you never cross back over. The moment you stopped waiting, the moment you stopped hoping, the moment you started becoming, because the world doesn't reward potential, it rewards execution. And the life you want is not ahead of you in time, it's waiting for you in action.